Deral has not seen some of the crazy stuff that we've seen, mostly because he doesn't cut corners.
No.
But we have a document that we send out to our customers. We've had to, because some of our customers decide to use brokers, decide to go on the cheap. They are trying to save $100 on their $80,000 car, and that's just a bad start. But for loyal listeners, you've heard this before, but Deral hasn't. We literally have a document, a waiver of liability, so to speak, that we send out to people if they choose to book transport on their own or with a broker, and it's basically more of a warning than anything. But at the bottom, they have to say basically, yes, I've read all this. I assume all the risk. But what we do is we list out all the horror stories that we've heard that actually happened.
Yeah.
I'll go through a few of them.
Oh, God.
Transport companies. Here's a sampling of what we've seen done by discount transporters. Dropped a car off the back of their truck. That's actually common. We see that on social media all the time. Damaged a car, lied about it, and had it repaired poorly at some side of the road shop. Taken a car they were transporting to the strip club. Jump-started cars, causing irreparable damage. Stolen vehicles that they were supposed to be transporting. Trucks have caught fire with no trucking insurance. Transport companies have falsified insurance documents. Trucking companies have used account and routing numbers on the check used to pay them to create counterfeit checks and drain the account of the payor. Probably the craziest one is they used a truck that they were hauling on a trailer. When their truck broke down, they pulled the truck off and then hauled the load.
I mean, I see this. You're not making this up.
No, these are real things.
God, I wish I'd known about this. I could have used some of this stuff. No,
you could have made a lot more money.
I could have cut more corners for this stuff, but no. When I see that, I just cringe because, like I've told you before, I've seen trailers with more duct tape than metal. It's sad. I mean, like, you can speak English. I get that so often, and I see the type of vehicles that come in, not only here but just everywhere. I don't understand why they're allowed to be on the road. How come they haven't been flagged and taken off the road? When I do my due diligence to maintain that, I go over the wheels, the bearings, the seals. I do that religiously to make sure that trailer is working properly. And it bothers me to see stuff like that because I know that's the norm. I'm a little different than that. I mean, I polish my truck before I get here. And I don't care if I come through a rainstorm. I'm out there polishing it, waxing it as I'm driving in. It's just a different way of doing business.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see that.
So as we're running up against the clock here, tell us why you retired from trucking, because you were good at it and you loved it.
I do. And I did. And I still do love what I did. Back in June, I was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. One of my clients, whose name is on the building at the cancer center, I reached out to him and said, "Hey, I'm going through a tough time in my life." And he said, "Say no more." He put me in contact with the cancer center, put me in contact with the best team, I think, that do kings and queens and emperors up in Cleveland. And I've been to be able to be a part of that. And that staff met me the very next morning to get me in. They diagnosed me correctly. They were able to give me my treatments right away. And having a softball-sized tumor in my kidney that metastasized into my lymph nodes throughout my body have now been reduced down to a marble-size spot in my kidney that I'm not completely cured because it metastasized, but if it wasn't for that client and that special relationship I have with him, he saved my life. And I'm still able to be here, and He says, I've got another 10 years if I want it.
And they told you at the beginning of this, how long did you have?
A year at the most.
And how long ago was that?
That was in September. And now I've pretty much been cleared. And I couldn't be happier. I feel great. I absolutely feel great. And I've been so blessed to have those type of people, those type of clients that I've come across in my life to be able to save my life. I'm very thankful. Very, very thankful. So
how transporting cars saved your life, right? The connections you made because you took care of people and did right by them.
And he calls on me at least once a week to check on me. That's the craziest thing. He's in Florida golfing, and he will call and say, hey, Deral, how are you doing today? How do you feel? I'm feeling good, Michael. I'm feeling good. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. It doesn't really mean that, transporting, but whatever you do in life, treat people the way you would like to be treated, because you never know. Anytime your life might change, well, you might need that person. And honestly, that man saved my life. I couldn't be more blessed.